Hello and welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
I'm Chris Mann.
Today we're going to be talking about 1986's Jocks.
Bobby, start the serve.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
Spooky ain't got no real coach.
Hello, pizza man.
We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love fun and games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
You could have been decent once in a while. And maybe Daddy wouldn't have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
Come on, just step on the gas before we get creepy.
Chris, so we're back here on the bin and Crown International makes its triumphant return
Heavyweights the crown.
to the grind bin with the sports romp Jocks. And we're going to get into the name Jocks and how that is very ill-fitting. Chris, with a name like Jocks, what sport do you think this movie's going to be about?
Oh, it's easy. Oh, table tennis, naturally. No, football. There's something with a little bit more testosterone.
Yeah, you think maybe football. My first guess would be football.
Yeah.
Second, basketball, baseball. Maybe that's like tied for second or third.
Yeah.
Maybe like 20th down the list would
Right.
be tennis.
Yeah.
Which is what this movie is. It's a tennis movie.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this is like the hidden realm of tennis that we never knew about.
It might be.
Maybe.
86, tennis was on
You know-
top of the world. You know, you had Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras and John
Right.
McEnroe and all them. I
This
don't know
is-
when they were popular, but I remember these names as a child.
Yo, me too.
I remember seeing videos of McEnroe throwing his racket around and
Yeah.
screaming at officials. And
Right.
Maybe
Maybe
that-
this is like the cheerleaders of tennis movies, maybe.
yeah, there you go.
Oh.
So before we get into the movie today, Chris, let's take a listen to the trailer for Jocks.
Today's college athletes aren't just interested in scoring, winning, or kicking the other team's butt. Hell no. They've got more important things on their minds.
Hey! You know you're cute, but you're not my type.
They're dedicated to driving their dean,
I want to win!
their faculty, and their coach
Hiya, Coach.
out of their minds.
And if we both win, I'm yours for the night.
All right, you guys, I want you up and out of here. We got a match in an hour.
Jocks, the comedy that proves champions aren't born,
Sir, my boys are not pansies.
they're made.
I just love your thoughts.
You two ain't going nowhere.
Christopher Lee, Richard Roundtree, R.G. Armstrong, Scott Strader,
Hi.
Mariska Hargitay, and Perry Lang. They're jocks, always showing off what they've got.
I want to show you something I'm real proud of. Oh, my God! Is this a party or what?
I love it.
Jocks,
They're degenerates.
I love the trailer is very coy about what sport is being portrayed in this film.
Just at the very end, we saw a guy hit a tennis ball.
Yeah.
But you might even miss it because
Yeah.
you're just laughing so hard at that rapid-fire succession of jokes.
Yeah.
You know, I found a lot of hate for this movie online,
Really?
but I thoroughly
Me
enjoyed
too.
my watch.
Me too.
Spoilers for the end here. Definite recommend.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something about a Crown movie that just it lures you in with its terribleness. And like, trust
Mm-hmm.
me, I got problems with this movie. I got a lot of problems with this movie. But for some reason, I would fire it up right now and watch the whole thing all over again.
Easily. I would go to a midnight showing in like 2 hours away in San Diego.
Yeah, it's great.
To do this,
If this was playing in the theater, I would go.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not, I don't know if you watched it. I have a DVD copy of this movie. Did you watch a DVD or it is on YouTube? You
YouTube. I
watch
did the
it.
YouTube copy.
There's a part of the DVD where all of a sudden it goes to like a tracking problem.
Yeah.
Like
That's on the on the YouTube
I'm
video
like,
too.
Excuse me? Like, wait. That doesn't happen in film. There's
So
no such thing as-
was it transferred from a VHS then?
That's what I wrote. I was like, it must have been transferred
Yeah.
from a VHS, which makes even less sense.
Yeah.
Because it has a tracking problem right in the middle of the movie. I'm like, I'm sorry, but no film has tracking problems.
No.
Must have been like transferred over from the beta tape. That
Oh my god.
held this thing in widescreen. So here we go, Chris. A little bit of trivia. Shot over the course of 4 weeks.
Surprise, surprise.
Filmed at various locations without permits. So, and trust me, there's some parts where you can tell that there were no permits. And I got some theories about this movie.
I want to hear this.
Released in the USA November 14th, 1986. Just got in right before the holidays and the Oscar deadlines there, just right in time. However, it made... Okay, 1986, Chris. How much money you think? Now, I don't know how much it costs because Crown is very coy about...
Yeah, I'd say it's a Crown movie under $1 million is what I would say.
Okay, because like Tomboy, for example, was the most, I think, second most successful. Yeah, My Tutor, I think we talked about, it's around the same time.
Okay.
Made something like $14 million.
Jesus.
So what do you think Jocks 1986 would pull in for a Crown movie?
Oh, wow.
You got heavy hitters, Christopher Lee and Richard Roundtree, Shaft himself in this movie.
Well, you're going to say it was lambasted by critics, so I'm going to say after that the reception might not have been as warm for moviegoers, so I'm going to say $5 million and under.
Okay, this movie made $120,000.
Wow. Wow.
It was a massive box office failure, to say the least. It was originally known as Road Trip, and then they changed the title to Jocks. Also, the poster for this movie...
Oh my god, I love it. So good. It looks like a softcore porn poster.
Yeah, the poster for this movie is what? It's like a guy in boxers, like laying on a
bench in a locker room.
Yeah, with a woman on top of him.
Yeah, she's straddling him, like kind of in a very suggestive way, pushing him down. He's looking at the camera like, oh!
Okay, now here's the thing. Neither of those people are in the movie. Like, you could not have a poster that has less to do with a movie than this one, other than maybe Malibu High.
I was going to say, yes, Malibu High, because Crown is notorious for this. They have an idea for a film, but what is representative is not always in the film. It's on the poster. It's just there to get you there.
Like, they could have taken a picture of anybody in this movie and put them on a poster, but no.
Here's my theory. The poster was made before the film was even filmed.
It's part of the pitching process.
Yeah.
This guy just walks to the Crown's office and goes, all right, I got an idea for a movie. Here we go. I got this poster made. Sold!
I said I'd have it back by 5, so
we got this guy in his drawers, and we got a broad on top of him. As you can see, very sensual. He looks into the camera as to say, it's good inside. Come on in. Mm-hmm. This looks like a couple million at the box office. What do you say?
Can it be tennis?
Yeah, whatever. We haven't even discussed the sport. By the way, we can't get access to a football stadium or a basketball court or a baseball diamond. But my brother, he has keys to the tennis court.
My brother's a bounce at the Golden Nugget.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck around there. You can just film wherever the fuck you want around Vegas. No rules out there. No rules. Mob rules, as they say. So, okay. The name of the movie in Germany, though, is not Road Trip. It's Jocks. Tennis, teenies, and bikinis.
Teenies what?
Teenies and bikinis. Nobody's a teenager in this movie, by the way. They're all college age.
Yeah.
So and of drinking age.
Are they, maybe they're suggesting teeny weenies, like, you know...
Tennis, teenies, and bikinis. So that's the name of the movie in Germany. The name of the movie in the Philippines, though, Physical Lesson.
Oh, well, you know, I guess.
This just sounds like it's a beating. Like you... I'm going to teach him a physical lesson.
Maybe it's Serbia, but I don't know about this.
Fire up that Physical Lesson movie. I want to see what that was about.
I was mad in Germany it wasn't called Das Jock.
Das Jocks. Das Jocks.
Sweden, yeah. Das Jock. Yeah, give me the Jock. Yeah. So good. Yeah. Oh, you drive a car. I drive a Jock too.
So we get to the crew, Chris. We got the director, Steve Carver. He only has 16 credits, but some great grindhouse and action classics. He started his career with 1974's The Arena with Margaret Markov and Pam Grier. 1974 went on to direct Big Bad Mama, a very famous grindhouse movie starring Angie Dickinson. 1975, Capone, which was a Al Capone biopic. 1981, An Eye for an Eye with Chuck Norris. 1983, Lone Wolf McCade, which is Chuck Norris and David Carradine. So that's a great duo. 1986, he went into Jocks. 1988, Bulletproof with Gary Busey. And his last credit, 1996, The Wolves. He stopped directing and became a photographer. He had a studio in Venice for a while, and then it closed down, but he's still a professional photographer.
Interesting. Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah. No, he just decided, fuck it.
Wow.
He had a great quote about how shooting low budget movies, you just kind of do whatever you can. He's like, I came in with all these storyboards and ideas, and I'd get maybe 10% of it. He goes, it's really tough to make 10 extras look like 100. So you gotta you do what you can. So.
True. God bless him.
Okay, so he doesn't have any information I could find other than a few quotes and interviews, but he has very weird posts on his IMDb message boards. There's just 3 of them, and they're all from people from his childhood or college days trying to reconnect with him, and they leave their personal contact information. Here's one of them for you.
Yes.
Title, What's Up, Steve? User, Stunt Double. This was Saturday, July 31st, 2010 at 11:21 in the morning. Hey, Steve. Mark, and he put his full last name, but it's just Mark R. Hope you're doing well. Sure been a long time since those touch football games on the beach. No response. There was another one where it was like a lady, and she was like, hey, hey, Steve, this is so-and-so. If you remember me, I'm going to be in L.A. soon. Love to go to lunch with you. If there's a Mrs. Steve, she can come too. If there's not, let's hook up. It's like... It's very weird. You should go read this man's IMDb message board. Writer 1 of 2, not 3 writers on this movie, Chris. That's a surprise.
Really? Just how many? Just 1?
Just 2. 2 writers.
Oh.
I know. Crown, they don't got the budget for 3. So it's like one of their motto. What 3 people do at other studios, only 2 can do here. Writer 1 of 2, Michael Lanahan, 5 credits. This was his first movie. His other movies are just currently in production. They're very, very small. But writer number 2, David Oaz. This was also his first movie. And he also wrote only one other thing, which was in 2004, with the other writer.
Really?
It's a movie called Raspberry Heaven. So apparently, Chris, the dynamic duo from Jocks, they got the band back together in 2004. They fired up that typewriter, and they wrote a new drama called Raspberry Heaven. But that's his only other credit. He also directed that movie. So, but heavy hitter alert.
Yeah.
Cinematographer, Adam Greenberg. Now, Adam Greenberg has 76 credits for cinematography, Chris. He is also a Grindbin All-Star. He was the cinematographer on both Lemon Popsicle and The Last American Virgin, which is a movie we covered on this podcast. He also filmed 1983's Charles Bronson 10 to Midnight. 1 year after that, 1984, he was the cinematographer on The Terminator.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay, 1 year after Terminator, 1985, Private Resort with Johnny Depp and Rob Morrow. Like, wow, what a fucking difference.
Wow.
1986, Jocks. 1987, La Bamba with our boy LDP.
I'm down.
1987, Near Dark, great movie. 1990, Ghost. 1991, cinematographer on Terminator 2.
Hey,
the man who shot this movie shot arguably one of the best shot movies of all time, Terminator 2.
Agreed. I agree.
1992, Sister Act. So he went from Arnold into Whoopi.
Really?
1992, Toys, which is a terrible movie, but very interesting photography in that one.
Is that the Robin Williams?
Yeah, that's the Robin Williams joint.
Yeah.
When Robin Williams decided to make an indie movie or some fucking shit. 1994, big box office bomb, by the way. 1994, Junior, so he continues his Arnold streak. 1996, Eraser. 1998, a movie I like, but not a lot of people like, is Sphere with Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoy that movie. 1998, Rush Hour. He was the cinematographer on that. 2002, Collateral Damage, back on the Arnold train. And the last one I wrote down here was 2006. He shot Snakes on a Plane. So he has a diverse cinematography background.
Good for him.
boy, his talent's underused on this film, and we will get into that. I mean, there were no technical errors, but the lack of permits is very obvious in some of these scenes. I mean, we are real touch and go on a lot of these. A lot of these shots, you feel like people are just like, all right, go, 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 run, run, run.
Yeah.
All right, the cast. We get into Scott Strader, who plays... Now, his character name in this movie is The Kid, and that really
true.
is his character name.
Yeah.
He's never referred to by a first name or a last name. He's just The Kid. He only has 6 acting credits and 2 movies. He was just in this and The Karate Kid as the character of Eddie. Perry Lang, who plays Jeff, does a lot of directing and acting, mostly for TV. The one thing he did direct... and he acted in was 1984's Men of War, starring Dolph Lundgren, which is an action movie there. We get into the heavy hitter actors and actresses at this point. Actress Mariska Hargitay, who plays Nicole. I mean, everybody knows her if you've watched, which I've never watched it, but I'm still aware of who she is. She's on 18 seasons of Law & Order.
Yeah.
As Olivia Benson.
Yeah, it's funny because I showed my dad the poster, and I was like, you got to see this. And he sees the name and goes, oh, yeah.
I have a quote from her on this movie.
Oh, okay.
She said the producer wanted her to do a nude sequence, but she refused, and she said, quote, they compromised a little, and I compromised a little. Originally, my part had a little bit of nudity, but I don't do nudity. So I think it's that scene where she walks in at a little lingerie.
Yeah.
And that must have been it.
Yeah.
Because there are no sex scenes in this movie, which is, for a Crown movie,
very uncommon.
No back, no sex scenes.
Yeah.
Very odd.
You know, no ankle, nothing.
You know what? I don't think there was one ankle in this movie.
This was a very...
And this is a movie about tennis. I don't think I even saw feet. Like, this is insane. And then we get into Richard Roundtree, who plays Chip Williams. Why Richard Roundtree's in this movie, who the fuck knows? This is John Shaft himself. He is in this movie, Richard Roundtree. 149 credits, just legendary actor. He's been in everything, mainstream movies, everything.
That's right.
I mean, he's all over the place. Also, R.G. Armstrong, who plays Coach Beetlebaum. Another actor who apparently needed the paycheck.
Yeah,
because he has 183 acting credits, including Predator and Children of the Corn and tons of Westerns. And then we got the real conundrum in this movie is that for some reason Christopher Lee agreed to be in this movie.
Yeah, it was very perplexing to see him in this. I'm like, we got Dracula, and he's in a Crown film called Jocks. He should have played Dracula. And he should just been his character in that and in Jocks.
Christopher Lee seemed like he was having a good time with this movie. It
he
seemed
was
like he
chewing
was
the
like,
scenery, yeah.
I'm just going to do what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And you can roll your little camera there.
You know what? They gave him the script, and he goes, you know what? I'm good. And just gave it back, and they said, roll this fucker.
Now, as Chris said, Dracula. That's where probably most of our audience knows Christopher Lee is those Dracula movies made throughout the 60s, 70s. He was Dracula in all of those.
A lot of the Hammer films, yeah.
The Hammer films. Yeah, obviously he's not Bela Lugosi. He has 281 IMDb credits, this guy. It's absolutely insane. But modern audiences probably know Christopher Lee. Children know Christopher Lee.
Oh, yeah.
As Sauron, or Sauron, is it Sauron? Sauron?
Talking about episode 3?
No, Sauron in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay.
He's in every Lord of the Rings movie.
Yeah, Sauron, yeah.
And then, that fucking pile of trash, what's that fucking called? Attack of the Clones?
And
he plays
Revenge of the Sith and all that. Yeah.
I think he dies in Attack of the Clones, doesn't he?
Third one.
I don't fucking... I've never seen the third one, so...
Yeah.
We won't go through this again. But he plays the character of Count Dooku. And I'm sure he told Lucas to go fuck himself.
He saw the second one and was like, no, just kill me off in the third. Just end it early. End it early.
I saw a clip. I watched about 5 minutes of episode 2 the other day on TNT or something.
Even worse.
And I see this like scene where they're in this pit fighting these CG monsters.
Oh, yeah.
And you just see Christopher Lee like attempting to talk to CG characters all around him, and he literally looks confused. Like he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Like he's like looking at this thing that's supposed to be next to him, just like, Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he goes in there and he's like, I'm ready to film the scene. And George goes, all right, you're just going to stare at this tennis ball here and you're going to talk to the tennis ball.
Ball 1 is this character. Tennis ball 2 is... And he's got, like, they got these names that you never fucking remember.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, hello, Count Dooku. Great to see you. Great to see you. Yeah. Yes, George. Where are the other actors? Oh, yes, I want you to meet... Tennis ball 1, tennis ball 2, tennis ball 3. Yeah. And down there, if you look down, that's where Anakin will be running around and fighting. He's fighting monsters.
Yeah.
Is that so?
Yeah, that's a volleyball and a swivel.
Volleyball and a swivel. All right, if you could just duck right now, we're going to... I mean, I saw him and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I bet he was like, oh, a Star Wars film. That'll be lovely.
Yeah. The spectacle, the sights, the sound, the organics.
The organics. Oh, okay, so I got a little bit more trivia before we get to this. Apparently, R.G. Armstrong, Richard Roundtree, and Christopher Lee all acted in the movie as a favor to the director. He apparently begged them to be in it, and they agreed. Christopher Lee does seem... They all seem like they're having a good time, actually.
Yeah.
Like, this was a nice party of a shoot. Chris, now, you remember that scene where there's cockroaches?
How can I not? I love that scene.
Well, 8 cockroaches were actually flown in from L.A. to Las Vegas.
Flown in
order to be used in this film. And a cockroach wrangler was hired to make sure that none of the cockroaches escaped and that they were all accounted for during the shooting of this movie.
Did they negotiate for first class when they got flown in? That's my question.
I'm sure they did. They got their own chair. They each got a chair. All 8 of them.
Yeah. They all ate.
Imagine walking into that. It's the 80s. Like, money's just flying. It grows off fucking trees at this point. Yeah, and everybody's walking around with piles of Coke in their pockets.
Oh, these cockroaches are banging stewardesses in the fucking bathroom all night long.
You imagine walking into that plane and you just see one guy and then like every chair has like a little cockroach on it and you're like, what the fuck?
Like scattered throughout the plane. They don't want to sit next to each other. It's not enough room.
Okay, apparently R.G. Armstrong improvised the part when he kissed Christopher Lee, which I'm sure was a nice surprise for Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
And the cheerleaders and the marching band featured in the climactic big tournament were both acquired for free. How they were acquired for free, we don't know, but we'll theorize on that later. Before we get into it, Chris, one last thing. I got 2 reviews for you on this movie, which they're both very odd. One of them here, 4 out of 5 stars, and these are both from Amazon. Couldn't find any worth reading on IMDb. Amazon, 4 out of 5 stars. Title, My Uncle's Movie.
Wait.
Hold on.
Okay.
By Brian Lanahan. Lanahanan. My uncle, Michael Lanahan, wrote this movie back in the 80s. He originally titled it Road Trip, but the distributor titled it Jocks, something he hates. He said to me the film was meant to portray what college life was like back in the 80s. There's an interesting cast. My uncle's favorite being Christopher Lee, whom he got to know well. So there is a little background. So here is my opinion of the movie. I like the character of Ripper and the black guy. They're the funniest, in my opinion. The story is good, but I mean, it was almost too easy. I wish things got a little more complicated before they managed to win the tennis championship. I laughed some, but was never cracking up. Like with Old School or Animal House. So all in all, I give the movie a C. And his uncle made it. It's like you can't say something fucking nice about it. All right. Now this review I'm going to read to you, Chris, is actually for a 4 DVD set that you can buy for $5 on Amazon. That includes this movie, My Tutor, Cave Girl, and Coach. It has nothing to do with the movie we're talking about today, but it might be one of the weirdest reviews I've ever read in my life.
Okay.
2 out of 5 stars. Cave Girl title. Cave Girl gets 1 star for song and 1 for chick by Afford Man. I didn't expect much, but the song catch me somewhere on internet. Indeed, mainstream movies have to have minimum to sell and to have actual plot. Imagination. Acting is too much trouble. But some skin shine. The sky is blue and all well that ends well. And $5 are wasted. Stick to Education of Baroness. It has everything man is looking for and more. Or if you are in a light spirit, try in the sign of ... Don't take propaganda seriously. Develop your own brain. I don't know what to make of that. Like, I read this and I was like, what the fuck?
It reads like a high school campaign for, like, presidents.
And I didn't even mention the multitude of spelling errors
I'm
that's in
sure.
this.
Yeah.
At least they use commas. So let's get into the movie, Chris. We start out with the great theme song to this movie, which I think we heard there in the trailer. As one of our boys here, Jeff, is working out on the tennis court, right, with these blue title cards. And did you notice, like, during the title cards, there's this... So you see him, like, doing push-ups and, like, stretching. And then for some reason, there's, like, a weird shot of his hand, like, caressing a fence. Almost like he's in a prison. Like, it was very odd. Also, this title sequence goes on for, like, the whole song.
Well, when I was in soccer, I caressed the grass on the ground before I played. It was just a ritual.
The movie starts after this. We see this guy work on a tennis court, but we're just going to cut. And we see Coach Beetlebaum walking down a college quad with students. Okay. Now, for some reason, there's a shot of him, like, pulling his pants out of his ass crack, which is a very odd thing. But then I noticed, I get it. Because I was like, why did they use a different take? Like, this man just, like, grabbed into his asshole and pulled out his pants oh, shit, and just kept walking. Like, it was obviously a mistake. And then I realized, oh, no, they're behind a bunch of pillars. If you notice, the camera is hidden behind all these, like, pillars.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, you just kind of see him walk. And, like, it's almost like a voyeuristic shot of, like, this man just walking down a quad. And I'm like, oh, no, they didn't have a permit to be here.
Yeah.
They just set up the camera and they're like, all right, just go. Because there's, like, all these extras everywhere. And they all look like students. And, like, there's a part where the coach walks down. He's like, oh, hey, and he's just walking around like he knows everybody. And people just look at him kind of confused. Like, who the fuck is this guy? And then we notice the camera's, like, kind of hidden behind these pillars. I'm like, they didn't have a permit.
No.
This was all right, just shoot just shoot it, run. Shoot it, run.
Put wheels on the tripod. Push.
Like, they just had a camera in a backpack and they just, like, set it up. Like, all right, go.
Yeah. In fact, the tripod had leaves on it. To camouflage it better. Now, for those that are unfamiliar or maybe not know too much, now say if some place like this place got word after the fact that they filmed here without their knowledge and it was screened and they found out, could this place potentially do something about it?
So here's how the call goes, right?
Right.
Like, you can see whatever it is, UCLA calling up and going like, is this Crown International? So it's come to our attention that you might have shot something in the movie you released there, Jocks, in our campus. Yeah? Fucking prove it. That's how it goes. And then they just hang up. Yeah, fucking prove it. You ever been to a college? They all look the fucking same. Fuck you.
And that's going to be general practice, I take it, for every studio. That's what you're
How
saying.
dare you? How dare you?
The audacity.
And this is how they teach the interns over at Crown in the 80s.
Yeah.
If somebody calls and says something about a permit or anything like that, just tell them you put them on hold. And you'll get the boss. Hint, kid, they ain't no boss.
Yeah.
Just leave him on hold all day. I don't care if he's on there for 6 fucking hours. If he calls back, do it again. He'll never get through.
Yeah.
And if any lawyer ever shows up, just tell him you'll be right back. And lock the door on your way out.
There's a hatch in the ceiling. Wait till it's dark.
So we go to the president's office, and so Christopher Lee, he's decided, he's like, well, if I'm going to be in this movie, I'm going to be in this movie. And he's just walking around his office with, like, a big fencing sword, just swinging it around. And so he's got this Coach Beetlebaum in his office, and he's, like, going on and saying, like, hey, you've been athletic director here for quite a while, and we haven't won any championships. There used to be a lot of winners here at LA College, but lately we've been a bunch of losers, and we won a championship. So what are you going to do for that? Or else you're fired. And he says something like, oh, well, we could just shutter the tennis program and get some real good football scholarships. And he goes, no, No, he said something like, I kind of like tennis or something. Maybe we should just win a tennis championship.
Something along those lines,
This
yeah.
is very confusing, right?
Yeah.
So basically they just end this by saying like, okay, well, you need to win a tennis championship or I'm going to fire you. Also, there's this kid named The Kid, and he's been suspended, but he's the best tennis player, so just unsuspend him. And then this scene ends, and I'm just left, I go, what the hell just happened? I
think Christopher Lee was the one who called action and cut during these scenes.
Like, they're having this conversation that, like, it just goes on and on. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
This is too much information, and then they just wrap it up at the end. It's like, all right, tennis. They just look. It's almost like they look down the barrel of the lens, like, all right, hey, audience, hey, tennis championship, or this guy's fired. All right, that's it. That's all you need to know. Thank you. Good night. And he just swings the sword around.
Did he have a long cigarette in this, or was it someone else, or is it just me?
No, I think it was just the sword. Maybe
For some reason, I thought there was a long cigarette, but who cares?
I think there was at some point.
So
So we go to the parking lot. All right, I love this. So we're first introduced to The Kid by this shitty car that just speeds right into the parking lot and literally into a dumpster.
Yeah, I love this.
So this girl, by the way, I got so many problems with this girl. I can't wait to get into this character and how fucking annoyed I got at this girl. So she just drives into this parking lot, Chris, like a fucking bat out of hell. Like we're watching a police chase on the news, and she just doesn't even press the brakes. Oh, God, I know why. There are no brakes.
Well, yeah.
Because he says later in the movie, he goes, oh, I don't have any brakes.
Yeah.
So apparently this guy drives all around town, and the only way to stop is he's got to find a dumpster somewhere to ram his car into.
I love that.
Because they go at full speed. I mean, like 30 miles an hour straight into this dumpster.
I want to see this guy as an Uber so bad.
I never realized that. So this guy doesn't have any brakes.
No.
He just goes around. Everywhere he goes, there's got to be a dumpster. You see him like somebody's in his car, like on a date, and she's like, "Oh, are we gonna park soon?" He's like, "Well, I got, I'm trying. I gotta find something to run into."
Every road trip is like the Thunderdome for this guy.
He's like, "Look, it's one of two things. I either run out of gas and we get out, or I find something I can hit that's not another car."
Question: how good is your doctor?
What do you think the valet situation's like?
Okay, here's what I picture. I picture the valet going off in the sunset screaming.
Like, do you think he just rolls into the valet, kind of just rolls out of the car while the keys are still in it? He goes, all right, just catch it.
And you never hear from the valet again.
Maybe that's how he like avoids culpability. Every time he goes to a store, he just rolls out of the car while it's still moving. And just like wherever it lands, it lands. You know?
I picture it like just crashing into the line of carts as the kid pushes it to stop it.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay, this guy's passed out in the back seat, right? And this girl's like, "Hey, we're here." This apparently has not even wakened him, right? He's so hungover. She's like, "Hey, kid, we're here," and he's like, "Oh, okay." And so they go up to this tennis court to meet Jeff, who's our other main character.
Yeah.
And we learn, he's a real slacker, Chris. Because Jeff's like, "Hey, I've been waiting here for 45 minutes. And he's like, yeah, whatever, I don't fucking care. Are we going to play tennis? I don't even know why I go to this school. Apparently I was suspended, but I don't know. But let's practice some tennis. And then, okay, here's where I got a problem, Chris. This girl in this scene, she is just, I'm going to bring up what you've said before. There's no more bubblegum on set. So she is just chewing the fucking scenery.
Yeah.
Because goddamn does she never shut the fuck up. Every 2 seconds, this girl is screaming something. Like, so they start to practice tennis, and she's just sitting on this bench with the biggest fucking smile on her face going like, yeah, yeah, I want to see blood. Yeah, yeah. Like, she just doesn't shut the fuck up.
No,
every, 2 seconds, this girl's screaming.
And she's giving it 100%, 110% energy every time, too.
Okay, and by the way, will we ever see this girl again?
No.
It was like her 1 minute on set. She's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm making the most of this.
Yeah.
You see her reel back in the day? It's just this one scene of Jocks. Her just And we're gonna play it because it goes on for this scene's maybe 5 minutes. 4.5 minutes is her voice just constantly interrupting everything that's going on.
I see it like the way her reel is cut is she flips the footage back and forth, so it's like mirroring itself every other take, like to make it interesting.
It's almost like him and Jeff are about to have a conversation, and like you can hear her like interrupting, and they're like, "Yeah,
Go get him, kid. All right. You can do it.
Shit.
Kill him. I want to see blood, kid. Come on. Let's go. You can do it. I know you can. I saw it before. Let's see some action. Okay, let's go. One more time. Come on, Jeffy. Give him a good one. That one was not good. I love it.
And also, okay, now I got another problem with this movie is that like the kid. So apparently he's like the best tennis player, but his method of playing tennis is like he's like hitting the ball through his legs and shit. It's like this is not practice. This looks like a 5-year-old trying to play.
The free lesson you got at the Y.
Like, this is some guy fucking around, like hitting the ball between his legs, and he's lifting it up. He's pretending the racket's a dick. He's just
Coach is not looking, obviously.
I'm like, this guy's supposed to be good.
Yeah.
And by the way, this whole scene is like scored by elevator music. It's like imagine a tennis match that's supposed to be kind of intense, I guess, with a girl screaming, "I want blood!" Yes, beat him up, kill him. To da, 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 da. It's an odd.
They got that music from the casino elevator that they stole. They needed some music.
They put a recorder in the Barbary Coast and just they're like, just get some of that room tone.
Yeah, that's why you hear some like coins clinking around.
I heard something, kid, that you don't need the rights for the music if you just record it in its natural atmosphere. Something like that. Just leave it in that casino bathroom for a bit. So we go to the college, right?
Yeah.
They illegally filmed that college, obviously. Because here we get another shot in the quad, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm, again, not so sure this was actually
There's no
permanent,
fucking way.
Because so Beetlebomb, the athletic director, right? He's all pissed, and he walks through some girls playing a soccer game, and he kicks the ball, right? And this girl looks like legit pissed.
Yeah, no extra can feign this kind of...
No. This is a genuine reaction.
Yeah.
And by the way, the camera is like, it looks like it's peering out of a bush because it's this really weird low angle, and like you can almost see a leaf like coming into the camera.
Like, we know this is not Apocalypse Now.
Just get in that bush, kid. Get in that bush. I know a man who's directing this movie about a robot. I'll get you on it. Just shut the fuck up and do what I tell you, all right?
Do you think he got his guys that like dress him in camouflage? Like they got helmets with leaves coming out the top?
Get in that fucking bush. Get in that bush. Maybe he made him like camp out there all night. Like, all right, we can get this shot tomorrow, but go over there at night. Lay down in that bush. Get ready in the morning because we're going to shoot right at 9. We're having a coach walk through. But this girl, like, when he walks through and kicks that soccer ball, her face is very angry.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't fake it angry. And she flips him off like, hey, fuck you, dude.
Yeah. That is not the acting of someone who gets free pizza. This is like legitimately
No. This is
real
like,
emotion.
This is like after he called cut, he must have been like, all right, I'm sorry, this is for a movie. You know. Well, actually, don't wait. No, it's not. I was never here. And then he just runs.
You start car peeling out.
And she just looks over. You just see the camera guy like just running out of this bush. He's all dressed in a fucking ghillie suit or something.
Yeah. Straight out of U.S. Cav.
So we go to the streets, Chris, and we say, okay, well, this is about the worst idea of all fucking time, right?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Because, like, there's this, Jeff's like, oh, hey, your car is shitty, kid. And he's like, yeah. So, Chris, how is there a solution to get kid home?
He decides to pull out of his trunk a rope and he goes, it's going to cost you. Apparently
like a big, like an Indiana Jones type rope.
Like, throw me the idol. Kinda.
Like, yeah, this is like a rope you'd find on a pirate ship.
Yeah. Like rigging. That's what this is. So
For some reason, Jeff has rigging in the back of his trunk.
he abides by like sailor maritime law.
He's
wherever
like
he
a
drives.
longshoreman or something on the weekends or some shit. Like, what the fuck is this?
So this rigging is going to be towing his car from behind, which is the greatest idea ever.
By tow, you mean Jeff ties this rope to his back bumper, and then they tie it to Kid's front bumper, and he's going to drive them home this way.
Right.
Which, by the way, you ever get to a stoplight or a stop sign, that car's going straight into the car in front of it. And how do we know this, Chris? Because while they're going up a hill, the rope breaks, and Jeff's like, oh, fuck, press the brakes. And he goes, well, I don't have any. And he just goes rolling down this hill, and he just runs into this semi-truck full of, like, Coors Light.
Yeah.
And all these cans fall in the back seat, and they just explode, and he says something like,
that's what I call a party.
At this point, I'm like, all right, I'm going to enjoy this. This movie...
Yeah.
This movie is starting out strong. So now we go into Beetlebaum's office, and he calls in Richard Roundtree, who's Chip, and he says, hey, so apparently you need to win a championship or you're going to be fired.
No pressure.
And I do so there's one thing about this scene that I did like, though, is that, so Beetlebaum's like apparently the head athletic trainer, right?
Right.
And he's talking to Richard Roundtree's like, hey, yeah, what's that sport you play, tennis? He goes, yeah, tennis. For all I know, it's just badminton crossed with volleyball. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, you know badminton, but you don't know tennis?
Yeah.
Like this, I don't know. This newfangled ball and racket, not like the old days where we'd play badminton or volleyball. You've combined it into some hybrid sport nobody's ever heard about. U.S. Open, never fucking heard of it. Wimbledon, whatever. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Agassi, I don't know. Tomato.
Anyways, so you better win or you're fired.
Yeah.
And so Chip's like, all right, well, I'll try. And that's it. These are the stakes of the movie. But good on you, Crown. By the 80s, we're establishing the stakes of a movie. However, how we pull that off, we'll find out if they've learned any lessons from their past mistakes. We go to the jail, Chris, and now Kid and Jeff, they're in jail because the cops arrested them for that towing stunt.
Yep. That's something Bobby and DeVito would do.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like the van would be towing Andy's car or something.
I got an idea, Bobby. Yeah, and a waterbed would pop.
Yeah.
And a naked girl would fly out the back, you know. Kid and Jeff, okay, so they get out of jail, but there's this good part where there's a third man in the jail cell with them.
Yeah.
Who's like a homeless man. And so the cop comes up and he goes, all right, you two, you got bail. And this guy goes, oh, boy. And he tries to walk out and he goes, Willie. And just pushes him back in. And then, like, while they're leaving, he tries one more time.
Yeah, I love that.
Try it.
Try again. Is that what America taught us?
Yeah. Oh, boy. So then we go to the front, and we find the other members of the tennis team. And one of the guys is Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds. So they were like, hey, wait. For casting, we got to get one of the nerds.
Yeah.
Sir, we couldn't get any of the nerds, but we got that big guy, the ogre guy. Yeah, whatever. He'll do. He's also Jackson in Bloodsport, which is his other great role.
Love it.
Pretty much all this guy does is just scream. Mm-hmm. That's his shtick, you know?
Yeah, I love it.
Between, like, 84 to 89, he was your big screamer guy. If you needed like a 7-foot-tall, 300-pound man who looks like Grizzly Adams but isn't Grizzly Adams and will just yell for you
for half the budget.
And then there's this guy. I feel really bad, but I don't know the black guy's name in this movie. All I know is that he has hair that looks a lot like Rick James.
I called him as Rick James the whole time.
Rick James.
Yeah.
And
Jonator!
There's this like 50-year-old Mexican guy that hangs out with them named Tito.
Apparently love him. God, I love the character in this
Tito,
so much.
Or like old Fred Armisen, I guess.
Yeah,
like,
you know what this is?
80s Fred Armisen.
This is like a Revenge of the Nerds of tennis. Is the ensemble here?
This is exactly supposed to be Revenge of the Nerds of tennis.
Yeah.
Hey, did you get anybody from that Nerds movie? Come on, Anthony Edwards.
That Belushi guy.
That Carradine brother.
Yeah.
Any one of them? Who? John Goodman.
Sir Belushi was Animal House. I don't care. Get him anyways.
Oh, who'd you get? We got the guy that played Ogre. Who? So we go back to the kids. Okay, we go to the kids' frat house for some reason. This, by the way, so much set dressing for a set and a place we will never see again.
No.
I mean, extensive set dressing.
Yeah.
We walk in, there's beer cans, bottles everywhere, people just sleeping all over the place. The blow-up doll from Night Force is there.
Is there a bear rug, though? That's what I want to know.
And they just kind of walk around, and Jeff's like, oh, this is where you live? And he's like, yeah. And then they just leave this place for no reason. I don't even know why we're here.
No.
Why we filmed this? What the fuck the point was, but huge, extensive setup for literally nothing.
Is this a runtime situation or a passage of time situation?
But, like, holy fuck, did this take a lot of set design.
Or it was just there, and they filmed it without a permit.
They just walk up to some frat house and
some flop house,
hey, hey, kids, you want to be in a movie?
Yeah.
Let us go into your house. We know you had a rager last night, you know?
We pay you some beer?
No. Pay? Kid, welcome to Hollywood. You pay us.
Yeah.
You're going to be a star. Just lay on the floor, look like you passed out. Great. But then for no reason, we go over to Jeff's house, right? And so he's like all rich. I don't know if he lives in like a frat house or if he just lives in a mansion by himself. But like kid walks in and he's like, oh, he's got maids and butlers everywhere. And all these people are working. And just for no reason, this all just goes on like the only reason that this happens. And I write this. Okay, this is the part where I write, what the fuck is going on in this movie? Every scene in this movie, and this will be from this point out, just seems like we walk into the middle of a conversation.
Yeah.
And it ends.
Yeah.
And we're like, wait, whoa, hold on. What? Like you walk in, like your friends are meeting somewhere, and you're meeting your friends somewhere, right?
Okay.
And you walk in while they're finishing a conversation, and you're trying to be a part of it, and then they walk away from you, and you're like, wait, what? And you just feel lost.
Right.
That's every fucking scene in this movie.
I don't think they knew that conversations that are such as this, from the audience's point of view, needed a beginning, middle, and end for us to care. Because we don't care.
No, Chris, let me explain to you what happens in this scene.
Yeah.
Is Jeff pulls out a check, says, I got $3,000 for my tuition, and the kid says something about, hey, aren't we going to Vegas? Let me gamble that money and I'll win you 10 grand. And then they just walk out and I go, Vegas?
When did this happen?
Wait, what? What the fuck?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm hearing about this. All of a sudden, cut to Vegas.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what? What is going on?
Is this a final, a bachelor party, spring break?
All of a sudden, we're in a car driving to Vegas. We're in Vegas. They drive down the strip, and they basically see that every casino that no longer exists in Vegas, you know, all the sites.
Yeah.
We got the Stardust, the Dunes, the Frontier,
The old Nugget,
the Barbary Coast. I mean, all of them. Nothing left. And then we see, so Ogre's standing outside Barbary Coast, which is the casino hotel that they filmed this movie at, which I used to stay at all the time, which was one of the greatest hotels. Is like if you hate douchiness on the Vegas Strip, like if you can't fucking stand the other people around Vegas, like if you go into any one of them, Planet Hollywood, whatever it is, you know,
main
and
strip,
you got to deal with that element. Yeah. If you went to Barbary Coast, it was different. Like this was the place on the strip where like the old people would hang out.
Oh yeah,
you get a pitcher of beer for $5 that was plastic, and you could just walk around with it. You didn't even need cups. You could just drink straight out of the pitcher.
This was like the Sizzler of casinos.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Oh, great.
It was all decorated, by the way, the same as it is in this movie.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at this movie in 1986, I was staying there up until 2010 when they closed it. Literally the same decor. I mean, not, not a fucking difference at all. I'll give you an idea. It's like at one point years ago, my wife and I had stayed there, and the crowd that stays at Bill's or Barbary Coast, it was later named Bill's, was like at one point Molly had been at the bar and I was gambling, and she'd struck up a conversation with a bunch of new friends of hers that she'd met. They were like 6 guys from Canada that all were in wheelchairs. and they came down to hang out. I guess wheelchair crews roll together, you know, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
They were all down for their 1 year vacation down there at the Barbary Coast, which must have easy wheelchair access.
Yeah, it must.
Just hanging out, having a good time. You know,
That's
this
good.
was the crowd that would hang out there.
Good for
It
them.
was great.
Good for them.
It's fantastic. But now it's gone, and it's a fucking new place that's all expensive, and it's terrible. So we see Ogre Chris. He's standing outside that Barbary Coast, and he is apparently in a fight with security guards, and at one point he takes one of their nightsticks and just breaks it over
Snaps
his
it
knee.
in half, yeah.
But then he's just like picking up a bunch of coins off the street.
Because I thought it was like a pinata, like the nightstick broke and like coins fell out.
There's multiple points in this movie where people are like picking up money off the ground. Like on the Vegas Strip, which by the way, the front of Barbary Coast was like literally on the strip. There's like hundreds of people walking there, and there's multiple points in this movie where people are just picking up money.
Yeah.
Just leave it wherever the fuck you want. We'll get to another one where they literally throw money in the air and roll around.
Do you think this was like a distraction to not let anyone know they were filming? Like, look over here, money.
Like that lady that tries to pick up a coin wasn't even part of the movie. And
No.
just really yells at her. This is when I wrote, this movie keeps doing this. Like, we walk into a scene and it's already done, and we have to try and pick up the pieces because we don't know why he was in a fight with the security guards. We just see the tail end of this. It's like, no, kid, don't worry about the buildup. Just get to the punchline. Punchline. That's all this movie needs. Like, you see it in the editing room, and they got the 2.5-hour cut of Jocks going.
Yeah.
And the producer just walks in. He's like, "What the fuck? What the fuck are you doing?" Yeah, it's coming along really nice, sir. We got a lot of character development. Kid, we gave you $1 million. We told you 90 minutes. This is 2 fucking movies you're delivering here. We don't.
This is Jocks 1 and 2.
Jocks 1 and 2. By the way, we know you wanted to call it Road Trip. It's now called Jocks. We felt it had a better name to it. Also, here's the poster in case you want to see.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't have anybody in the movie. Shut the fuck. What do you know about marketing? Making a 2.5-hour cut. Okay, so here we go. Here we're gonna re-edit this movie. All right, and I don't need this dialogue, kid. Cut it out. Get to the joke. Joke. That's all we fucking need. All right. Nobody cares about if he lost his grandmother, any shit like that.
Yeah.
Get to the fucking action. Jokes.
It just turns into like an HBO special.
Sir, if I just cut to him breaking a nightstick, it doesn't make any sense. Why is he there? Shut the fuck up. People are gonna. Look, kid, do you realize where this is going to be shown? By the time that guy comes and he looks up at the screen, he wants to laugh. Don't put him to sleep. He's got to be ready to go for round 2.
The floors are going to be sticky.
So then we go to the casino, right? And so basically the kid walks through a casino and then like tries to rob this guy. That's his friend named. Okay, so Chris, here's the thing. He walks up to a man who's wearing a flannel shirt and a cowboy hat, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize what his name was.
Oh, yeah.
And in my notes.
Yep.
Okay, so go ahead. What is his name? Chris?
Tex.
All right. In my notes, I write, I don't know what this character's name is, but he wears a cowboy hat. So I think I'll call him Tex. Later in my notes, when I find out his name is actually Tex, I'm just like, holy fuck. What a coincidence.
Yeah. Character development and names paper thin.
You just see in the screenplay, he's like, who the fuck is this Henry character? He's a very interesting guy. He's got this complex backstory. What? Put a cowboy hat on him, call him Tex. End of day. All right, let's fucking roll.
That 6 pages gone.
You just see him like
pulling pages out.
400-page version of Jocks. And he's just pulling pages out left and right, taking his marker and just crossing Tex. All right.
Yeah.
Where's cowboy hat?
Yeah.
No dialogue. No. Yeah, there's this whole great backstory about why he's in this card game. Kid, shut the fuck. So then, all right. Oh, okay. Rick James, No, I'm sorry. Yes. The first person we see is Tito, who I wrote at this point. He looks like he's 50, and he's just playing craps. And like I said, he's like a coked out Fred Armisen.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Fred Armisen on Portlandia is very subdued, right?
Right.
So just imagine him running around as like if he was like 2 feet shorter and going like, "Yip, all right, and then the other guy, okay, so for some reason, the guy who looks like Rick James, his name is Andy. So he hits on these women, right? Yeah. One of the best methods I've ever seen for hitting on women is they're sitting at a table, and he does a little banaka, right? And the way he hits on women is he walks up to this table of 3 women. He gets maybe an inch within this girl's face, and he goes, "Hey, what's up?" Just screams at them.
I used to do this thing in high school on the track to keep myself entertained because I was so bored of running. I'm naturally a runner. It was not a problem. I just was so bored, so I would run up behind people. I would lap them, my classmates, and I get within inches of them, and I go, "Bam!" Like really, really loud. and they would go, "Oh shit!" And then like their legs would like buckle under them, and then they would fall. More like 80% of the time they fell. Other times they would like kind of flail their arms around and get their balance back. I did it numerous times. I even did it in the Boy Scouts, which I got reprimanded.
You had a lot of friends on that track. Chris.
Oh, I was a dick.
Oh, they're like, yeah, it's that guy that yells at you at the track. Don't it? It just says like the word on Chris at the high school campus was, "Don't ever let him get behind you." So, all right.
Yeah, the guy in the really short shorts.
The other thing we see is Ogre. There's this great part where he literally rips an old lady off a slot machine while she's in the middle of playing it.
Yeah.
And then he tries to play it, but okay, so he goes to pull the lever, right?
Yeah. And it literally like rips off in his hand because he pulls it. Who pulls a lever like that? It was never played before.
He pulls a lever like he's trying to save a baby under a car. He's just like, it just breaks clean off.
Yeah.
So Chris, what's the only other way to play this machine? He just bangs his head into it, and then money comes out. Apparently, now I think I know why. Okay, now here's the thing, though. I have a suspicion that was what happened when the security guards originally came up, because all of a sudden they look like they're coming up to him.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe they recut it.
Yeah.
Because it didn't make any sense. Like, what, was he kicked out once before for doing the same thing?
That actually is kind of funnier if you think about it that way.
It's like that guy's banging his head on the machine again. And, the casino manager is like, "I can't believe that we made these machines so easy. All you got to do is hit them hard and the money comes out."
Is this a fucking piggy bank or what?
It's like a fucking soda machine. You hit the thing hard and all of a sudden shit comes out.
God.
There should have been a better design on these things.
It's like a fucking Death Star.
Every slot machine has one fatal flaw. Like the guy who designed it's like, "Oh, I'll fucking get him." Some guy with some big vendetta against Vegas. Yeah, they don't know about my little trap.
Yeah. It's like when you find out a Mortal Kombat fatality. Word spreads. Word spreads.
Everybody around the camp, everybody around the schoolyards passing off that notebook paper. Up, down, A,
Yeah.
So then Coach Chip, he comes around and he's like, Richard Roundtree's like, "All right, hey boys, time to go to our motel." And they go to the motel, right? So they walk into the motel and it's a real shit bag.
Literally.
And Jeff and Kid, they get in their room, right?
Yeah.
And Jeff pulls off the covers and there's all these cockroaches, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just starts hitting them. And then for some reason, like this gets, again, very confusing.
Yeah.
Is like Jeff, he pulls out like a flea bomb.
It's like a can of roach spray, but flea bomb in one.
Or it's like,
it's already detonated, apparently. It's been going off for minutes.
We were were filming that short film, and we had those.
Oh, God, yeah.
Industrial smoke bombs.
Yeah, it was like a paintball smoke bomb.
Yeah, and he sets this off in the room like, oh, I gotta fucking kill him. It's like, you're gonna kill yourselves.
Yeah.
Like, what? All right, so then there's this dumb part where the kid, he's like, all right, well, I'm leaving this room. I don't want to die of asphyxiation.
Smart man.
And he goes, I'm going to go buy a Pepsi. So he goes to that Pepsi machine. Nice little product placement. Get that Pepsi machine in there, kid. We see we get that money from them Pepsi people.
Do you think they sent them a real trying to get endorsements?
Hey, Pepsi Beverage Company. Hey, we got a proposal for you.
Yeah.
You know, here's the poster. We're thinking right behind this broad over here, we could have a Pepsi machine. You know, the little neon light that says, hey, Jocks drink Pepsi. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Fuck Coke. We're not interested. Can we still keep the machine in the movie? So all this fucking stupid thing is that he meets Mariska Hargitay, right, out there, and she like jump kicks this machine, and all these Pepsis come out.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful scene. Yeah.
And all these Pepsis come out because just like a slot machine, they all have their Death Star weakness. You can just at a certain point, whether it's a slot machine, a Coke machine, or a planet-sized gun, you can just kick it in one part and it will instantly blow up.
Here's what I would have loved if they went up to an ATM and did that. And this dollar sign, like bills to start shooting.
All right, so then finally we get tennis. Which, by the way, at this point in the movie, there's going to be a lot of tennis. Yeah. And in that 2.5 hour cut, he's like, sir, but why are you keeping all the tennis? You're cutting out all the story. Story, kid, god damn it. It's a movie about tennis. Put some fucking tennis in it. You know, hitting balls.
Balls.
Also, I don't know if you know the rules of tennis, because it seems like in this movie, nobody's really actually playing the game of tennis. Because our version of tennis in this movie, Chris, is like, okay, well, you win a match by just like hitting people with the ball. Or at some point, the ball just explodes. And apparently that you win? I mean, like, I don't think they knew what tennis was either. Like, I don't know. It's just badminton crossed with volleyball, right? Like,
you catch it, it explodes in your hand. Match, game, set.
Badminton, I think it just explodes. And volleyball, you just hit the person and you win, right?
Yeah.
Just combine it, you put a racket in it, you know. I saw some guys playing it over at the Y.
That's how they did their research.
Hey, how do you win the game? You see the producer going out. He's like, hey, kids. We're making a movie about this new sport of yours, tennis. We never heard of it before, but we hear it's catching on. All these friends of mine, they're doing a lot of coke and they're going out and playing tennis. I don't know what the fuck it is, but anyways, what are the rules for this game? How do you win? Oh, you just hit the other guy. Oh, great. Let me ask you a question, kid. If there's a really big guy and he hits the ball so hard it explodes, what would happen? I know, I think he'd win. All right. I'll take your word for it.
Are you allowed to get handed a nice racket in the middle of the round by someone else on your team?
Yeah. What happens if a man just takes his racket and just breaks it? Also, can you use your foot at any point to hit the ball? Yeah, sure, I guess. All right.
Set in stone. It's been said.
I got all the rules written down on this index card. 1, you can hit people. 2, you can use your feet. 3, if the ball explodes, instant win.
Maritime rules.
That's it. Go ahead, kid. Write your opus. And then he delivers that 400-pager. Ain't no tennis in this bitch. All right, so, okay. Apparently, the coach is like, all right, hey, guys, you need to win a championship, or I guess you're all going to lose your scholarships or something.
Oh, finally a plot.
So let's practice. Okay, these guys are literally the worst tennis players you'll ever fucking see in your life.
Yeah.
They just kind of run around the court and, like, hitting between the legs. Ogre just screams and just... He doesn't know how to hit the ball at the opposite side of the court.
Yeah.
He just knows how to like hit it like a home run.
Really hard. Yeah.
Hey kid, let me ask you a question. What if the guy hits the ball out of the fence, like over the court? What is that like a home run, like in baseball?
Are the bases loaded at any point?
Yeah, is there other people like that running around? This game's very confusing to me.
Is there a halftime show?
Yeah, you ever got any broads that dance around this court? So, all right, these guys, horrible. They have no idea how to play tennis. I mean, Tito's he's jumping around like some fucking Mexican jumping bean all around the court going like, Reba, Reba, Reba. He's like fucking Speedy Gonzalez,
Did
this
he go
motherfucker.
out and pray at one point?
Yes, he prays multiple times
Yeah, I
in this
love
movie.
that.
So, and like the only person apparently who knows how to play is the kid, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and apparently Tex knows how to play tennis. And so, Chris, because these guys are so bad, we have to have the introduction of two douchebags that are the villains in this movie that basically have to tell the audience that they're actually good. So there's a scene where these guys are standing by a tree and they're like watching these misfits try and practice tennis, which again involves praying, throwing a racket, literally crushing a ball, hitting a home run. And they go like, this one guy's like, oh, well, I hope we get to play them. And he goes, oh, no, you have no idea. They're amazing. This guy is like the best player in the world. And this guy, he's great. He's strong. And they go off and name like why they're so good and how they're going to be so hard to beat and how they're so hard and so good, Chris. We must come up with some sort of scam to defeat them.
Yeah.
The fix has to be in or we will lose to these guys. Even though we practice and know how to play tennis, these guys, they'll just will themselves to win. So then all of a sudden Mariska Hargitay shows up and apparently she knows these guys, right? All right. We go to later and like, so these two douchebags, they like go up to the kid. They're like, hey kid, let's go out and party tonight. And he's like, oh no. And they're like, what are you, a pussy?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, but I'll go with you now because you've intimidated me.
Yeah.
And like Marty McFly, if I get called a chicken, I got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then there's some dumb scene with him and Mariska Hargitay where they can set up some love story that will develop apparently off screen because...
It couldn't fit in those 400 pages.
We go to the dance club, right? So the boys somehow convince Jeff, all the tennis team convinces Jeff to drive them to this dance club.
Yeah.
And this just kind of goes on for a while in typical Crown fashion. There's lots of dancing because runtime.
Right.
And then the two douchebags from earlier come up and they're like, oh, hey, if you want to go to a real club, we should go to this Big Mama's. Mm-hmm. Which I'm guessing is like going to be a strip club or something, right?
Right.
So that scene was basically useless because all it is them showing up and saying, hey, you should go to a different club with us.
That's it.
Why didn't we do that in the first place? I don't know.
Runtime?
Go to this. Okay, so we watched them drive around the Las Vegas Strip with lots of illegally gotten footage because it's just literally people looking at the camera going like, are they filming me from the back of a car? What the fuck? I didn't sign no fucking waiver. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, this is the looks on people's faces. Like, you'll see a lady standing outside a casino just staring down the barrel of the lens like, what? Who is that creep in the... Oh, my God, they got a camera, and then...
Yeah. Like, even Van Nuys Boulevard was more discreet than this.
Yes. I mean, this is bad. This is like people staring into the lens. Usually the producer like, don't look at it, honey. Don't look at it.
We have never here.
It's mob rules. Don't look. So we go to Big Mama's. It's not exactly a strip club. It's like a biker bar, right?
Right.
And so, like, the plan is that they take Jeff, who's really drunk now, and Tex and the kid in there, and then these douchebag guys just walk out and leave them there. And I guess it's like a
setup,
like a lesbian biker bar.
Yeah.
With a woman who's doing a dance on stage, and there's a motorcycle on the stage. And a giant Confederate flag behind her, and she's just rolling around on this motorcycle in a bikini. And apparently, like, this is just some bar in Vegas, I guess, this biker bar.
I guess. I mean, sure. I played on a stage with the motorcycle. Sure.
You have?
Yeah.
I once went to a Judas Priest concert years ago, right?
Yeah.
And as you know, the singer for Judas Priest is gay.
Right.
And he doesn't hide it.
No.
And I remember one part in the show just stopped all of a sudden, and like Rob went to the back and like changed his outfit, and like all these metalheads were really into it, like the whole show, right? And they're like, yeah, priest. And then all of a sudden, halfway through the show, he changes his outfit, and then you just hear like a roar of a motorcycle, and he drives a motorcycle out on stage maybe like 2 feet, right?
Yeah.
And he's dressed in the tiniest little leather shorts, like a leather vest and a teeny little leather sailor hat.
Beautiful.
And all the all the look on the metalhead guys were just like, yep, yeah, he does this every show. Like, they look so disappointed, and it's just so funny to me. It's like,
yeah.
it's like, you go get it, Rob. You go get it. Do whatever the hell you want, man.
So he went 2 feet, then he got off the bike and
No, like literally 2 feet.
and that's
the
a wrap on.
motorcycle.
That's a wrap on the bike.
That's the wrap on the bike. It was like, Chris, literally like it was backstage, and then he just like walks it out like it's a tricycle, you know, and then gets off it and does a little twirl and stuff, and then kind of starts singing "Breaking the Law." Hello, Long Beach. It was great. Oh, God. All right, so basically this ends with some like lesbian bikers getting in a fight with them, but the kid just sprays them all with a fire extinguisher. You think it was like a metaphor?
For something contemporary, perhaps.
So we go to the hotel, and the boys are back, right? They're just gonna party by themselves and drink beers next to this pool and be really fucking loud. And then they're like, "What? Nobody got laid tonight? Oh shit!"
Yeah.
And here are the quotes, Chris. I guess we'll just have to slap the monkey again tonight.
Yeah.
And then they give a toast, Chris. Here's to the 5-knuckle shuffle.
Yeah.
Which is one I haven't heard.
I haven't heard that either. I got a kick out of it.
The old 5-knuckle shuffle.
The knuckle shufflers.
The old FKS, you know?
I'm making
the
a shirt.
knuckle shufflers.
I'm making a band shirt of the knuckle shufflers.
That is a good band name. The knuckle shufflers. So then all of a sudden, though, Tito, the 50-year-old, pulls up in a limo with some whores that he apparently bought.
Yeah.
Why you got the limo? I'm not sure about that. Also, he's dressed up in a suit, and he's just like, hey, come on into my room. And they all are apparently going to run train on 2 hookers in Tito's room.
Yeah.
We cut to the morning, so we don't see what exactly
I would have
happened
loved
there.
to have seen that.
Like, what the fuck?
There's at one point, there was like a sheep.
Oh, okay. By the way, in the morning, the girls are not there.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened, but all of these guys...
the lights went out and they made an early exit, unbeknownst to them.
It's a Roman party. A hole's a hole, kid. You know, these boys, these college boys, they having fun.
Ever seen Caligula?
Yeah, boys. The lights go down. Those tennis players, those jocks, you know, a hole's a hole to them. They don't care. Yeah. We got to be progressive with these movies, you know? But if a man dresses up like a woman, fuck him and go to hell. We'll get to that. Yeah. We will get to that.
Yeah.
So Coach Chip wakes them all up, and he's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? You're all drunk. We got a tennis match. So they go to the tennis match. They're in no shape. They're all hungover, and they're like fucking done, basically, right? They don't, Chris, they're such a bad tennis team in college and everything else. They don't even have uniforms.
No.
Everybody else has uniforms, and they just wear like whatever clothes they rolled out of bed with.
Yeah, they're
the
Class
last
C's, if you will. The Class C uniform.
So basically, okay, they all win their matches by pulling scams. So this makes no sense. It's like, in the beginning of a match, they will suck like fucking terrible, suck. Like the kid can't even see straight and he can't hit a ball. But for some reason he can win the match by just going like to his opponent. He goes, hey, look at that girl over there. She's got her boobs hanging out. And he's like, go. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. And then all of a sudden, for some reason now, the kid is like fucking Andre Agassi out there. He's just, hitting every goddamn shot and
Precisely,
serve.
yeah.
And he wins. Ogre wins by just basically hitting the ball at people. And I'm not sure tennis works that way. At one point, a ball just explodes as it hits his racket. Apparently, this wins the match. Like, this is it. Like, the whole way he plays is like, imagine you serve a ball, and then the other guy just hits the ball at you at like 90 miles an hour, like a line drive right to the nuts. And he's like, I win.
Mob rules.
It's Mob rules, kid. Jeff just sucks. He can't even.
Yeah.
He can't win. Now we're in the 80s, right? Because Rick James wins by pretending to be gay. And oh my God. So he sucks in his first part of his match, right? And he goes like, oh, well, I'm going to win this match by pretending to be gay. Because in the 80s, the only thing worse than being, I don't know, anything else is being gay. The worst thing in the world is being gay. Like, goes and he hits on this guy, and for some reason now the guy is terrified that like the gayness is gonna transfer from the racket into the ball, into his racket, into his balls. Yeah. Like he's so afraid that he's just gonna become gay that he can't play tennis anymore. Because the guy's like, ooh, hit the ball, you got great balls. And he's just like, oh God, I can't even look at him, he's so gay. And and that's it, he wins.
Yeah.
He wins. He might get AIDS just by looking at him, like he's the Medusa of AIDS, He looks into this Rick James hair. The AIDS might leap off
They
it.
turn into little snakes. They come at him.
He's asking his coach. He's like, does AIDS transfer between tennis balls? Tex wins by like betting a guy money. It makes no sense. And this is what I write. This makes no sense because the team just sucks, but then all of a sudden they're good by running scams. Then Tito just starts dancing around and praying. Yeah. And then at one point he kicks a ball like it's a hacky sack. Like he literally, like a ball gets hit at him and he goes, whoopa, whoopa, and he like kicks it up like it's a fucking soccer ball. Mm-hmm. I don't know the rules of tennis, but I'm sure that's not a rule. I'm pretty fucking sure John McEnroe never won a match by kicking a ball over at Wimbledon. You
didn't see it in '89 when he did that bicycle kick and it won the match.
Apparently they win, right? Yeah. So, yay, the team won their first match. Go back to the town, Vegas, right? Yeah. Now Jeff is... Okay, so basically he lets Kid gamble, and then Kid wins all this money at a blackjack table. Oh, my God.
Oh, here we go.
Again, it's 1986. The only thing worse than being gay is apparently being a transgender person. Mm-hmm. Because holy fuck, is this one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever seen. It's clearly a man dressed as a woman, and she is hitting on the kid, and he's like kind of going for it. And then when they leave, and Kid won all this money, she's like, oh, let me give you a kiss. And then
he goes in for it, and he just instinctively rips off the top of her top, and two little foam... half coconuts fall out. That's the padding for the breast, and he knew all along apparently.
And he gives him a look like "fuck you." Yeah, it's like holy shit. Like, is this gonna get a laugh? Yeah, because this is fucking terrible. Like, so our main character is just an asshole to somebody, and we're like, they'll be rolling in the aisles. I once saw a man dressed up like a woman. Funniest thing I've ever seen in my fucking life.
And to top it off, I ripped off the top.
Oh, and guess what? There was no boobs under there. Yeah. Jesus Christ. But then it cuts to one of the most baffling things I've ever seen, which is, so the Kid and Jeff have just won like 10 grand, right? So what do I do when I win all this money in Vegas, Chris? Well, What do you like to do, huh?
I like to throw it in the air.
Like on by
Everything,
the way, not
all of
in the
it.
casino,
Outside.
on the strip.
Yeah.
So they go outside the Barbaricos. They throw all the $10,000 up in the air in the middle of the strip, and then just go, and they're rolling around on the ground in it, and they're like, "We won!" And then they just pick up like a couple bills and then just walk off,
Right.
and leave like half the money. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, they couldn't go back and pick it up because permits be damned. They're going to be there for too long.
Run! I thought you said you knew the people that own this hotel. I don't know. I just picked this one because nobody gives a fuck. It's my rules around here.
There's no one outside what we got here.
You trust me, kid. You don't want to. You don't want to cross Fat Tony. You're gonna come out without your fucking legs, kid.
Yeah.
So we go back to the hotel. The boys are partying outside, and the two douche guys are looking through a window, and they're all pissed because they're having a good time. And then this movie gets even more baffling. Is they look at Mariska Hargitay, who's in this room, and they're like, "Come on, Nicole, will you help us out?" And she's all, "No." And one guy goes, "Come on, Nicole, we know you've put out before." And I write, "What?"
I know. Where is this going? Where did it come from?
What is the plan? Again,
Yeah.
we've walked into the middle of a conversation. What?
Yeah.
We know you've put out before.
Nothing established here.
So
Nothing.
is there a plan? Like, all right, we're just going to bring these two girls with us. Can you take one for the team and fuck that guy so we can win the tennis
Are
tournament?
they trying to like fuck him out?
Yeah, can you fuck them out? From our cheerleaders episode. You can learn
Preferably on the court.
Yeah. And she's like, "No." And then she gets mad and runs off. Then we go to the casino, and the transgender woman is back and hits on Coach Beetlebaum. They have some drinks. He puts his hand up her skirt, finds out there's a dick there, and breaks into a Hulk fucking rage. And, like, you know, starts just, and he goes off. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Go back to the hotel there, Chris. Why we needed that scene in the casino? Who knows? Runtime, baby.
Yep.
So we go to the hotel. Chip is meeting with the team. So Coach Chip, he's meeting with the team, and he's like, "All right, you can't overdo it tonight. I'm going to set a 12 o'clock curfew, and Tito's in charge." And then he just leaves. I don't really know what happens. Because they kind of argue. They're like, "Oh, but Coach." And then he's like, and then the scene ends. And I don't know what transpired. But why he would put the 50-year-old jumping bean in charge, who the fuck knows? The man who came in with a limo and whores. You put him in charge. Okay. Tito, you're the oldest. You're in charge.
Yeah.
So we go to the douche guys, right? All right, now this is so bizarre. They have this pile of money, and they pay this other girl who follows Mariska Hargitay around the whole movie, right?
Yeah.
This blonde girl. They just pay her for something, and we don't know. Again, we've walked in the middle of a conversation, and we've
nothing
ended the
known.
scene.
Nothing
Cut
known.
it out, kid. Nobody cares about the fucking plan. Just show the money, hand it over. Everybody knows what it is. She's gonna go fuck that guy, and they pay her to do it. Every woman has a price in a Crown movie, kid. Every woman. That's our motto. You can see it under our billboard here. Crown International Pictures. Every woman has her price.
From a company that gets all their women from Hustler.
Yeah. That's how they answer the phones at Crown. You see the intern shows up to his first day at work. He's like, "Okay, sir, I'm really excited for
They
the
roll up my sleeves and get to work."
All right, kid. Well, we're glad to see you. We don't get many female interns, so we're really excited about this. So you're going to be handling the phones here.
What button does what? Is this the transfer to hold? How does this
You know
work?
what, kid? I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I know when you pick it up, the people come on, but here's what I want you to say. Every time you pick up the phone, I want you to say, "Hello, Crown International Pictures. Every woman has a price. How may I help you?"
You can hear the sound of her filling out her new resume.
That's our motto around here. And trust me, every woman has a price.
As he winks at her.
I've learned this from a lot of years of making movies.
Yeah.
You want to be in a movie? Go into my office. I got a private one in it.
No clothes allowed.
International, every woman has her price.
I'm gonna make a new shirt of that for you.
That went into the 80s was when they started to have problems with that. They were like getting lawsuits. I don't know. There's something called women's lib going on. I don't know what any of this is.
Gloria Steinem, never heard of it.
I never understand these broads. They're wearing these shoulder pads all over the place. They're looking like football players. I don't know how that's attractive.
Is that for me to hold on to?
Hey, honey, when you show up to work tomorrow, how about, lose the pants, skirt, and what's with this jacket? You look like a fucking football player, but you're playing for the fucking Giants.
I know it's -30 outside.
Whatever happened to them low-cut tops and no bras we used to have here in the 70s, when we were making those movies back then? The times were great 10 years ago. Nowadays, these movies, this fucking Jocks movie, I don't even know if it's going to make $100,000. Tastes have changed. Yeah, I don't know.
You got to roll with it. Excuse me, I need to take my ointment.
My grandkids tell me I can't call them coloreds anymore. I don't know. They're African Americans, blacks, whatever they want to be called. And women don't want to be called broads anymore. I don't know. Time's passed me by.
Nah. We're strong when you need them.
Oh, God. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to filibuster these rules. With Reagan's in the White House now, we can do whatever the fuck we want. All right, so then we go. So Christopher Lee makes another appearance in this movie, and apparently he's staying in a presidential suite, right? And him and the Coach Beetlebaum, are there to watch the tennis tournament, but they have this extended conversation in Christopher Lee's hotel room that I don't know what it's about.
No,
it just kind of goes.
Is it like an ultimatum to win?
I don't know, but apparently they rented the presidential suite to film this.
Yeah.
Where Christopher Lee walks around a room stirring a drink.
Here's what I think happened. Here's how they filmed this in my mind. They waited till the housekeeping came through to clean out the rooms, and right as they left, they ran and threw a sock in the door before it closed all the way, and went in there and just set up and filmed.
Go! We got this fancy room. Go, Christopher. Go.
They're pushing plants.
Come on, Dracula. Let's fucking go. What's my motivation? And by the time they set up the camera, the scene's already halfway done, and they're like, "Sir, all we got was the end of that conversation. Yeah, fuck, it doesn't matter. Just whatever. We got the room. Let's go. The fix is in."
Yeah.
Literally, Chris, this scene is like this. Let's just walk into a random scene.
Yeah.
So are we in agreement?
Exactly. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Yeah. Great. Thank you. Oh, by the way, do you want a drink?
Sure. How about your having? They skid the fucking ashtray between the door and the crack.
I love that idea, Chris. That this camera crew's they're in their shitty room.
Yeah.
And the producer's like, all right, when that broad comes out of that room with that cart, intern, roll that sock in between that door. And we're going to run in. We're going to shoot the scene real fast. Don't tell Christopher we don't have the room. He's going to be very confused. He's sleeping in his coffin right now. We got to wake him. Then we go back to the bar. The boys are out in the town again, right?
Yep. Here come the boys.
Here come the boys. And they're just basically they're at this bar, and then the douche guys show up with the blonde girl.
Yeah.
And some plan will ensue, but we're not sure because money's transpired, but no words have been given to explain what is happening.
This is Bobby, I got the money without even him saying I got the money.
Yeah, they're like, you got the money? Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, yeah, you know what? You're right, Chris. It would be like DeVito just pulls up waving the money.
Not saying anything.
And he doesn't even say anything. Because, okay, so they show up and they just kind of look at the girl. They're like, are you ready for the plan? Mm-hmm. Yes. And I'm like, okay, what? What the fuck is going on? So they walk into this bar and the boys are playing some strip dice game with these girls, right? Mm-hmm. We got to throw a little TNA in the movie. There hasn't been any nudity in this. This fucking Mariska broad won't let us take a top off. So now we gotta hide these hookers
from Hustler.
You know, it was in her contract. She signed that fucking paper. It said tit.
It was a big paper that said tits. 2 lines, print, it's unsigned.
Her contract just said tits with a signature sign. All right, sign here, honey. And she just
caps.
looks at her agent, and she's just like, "You can get me out of this, right?" And the producer's just fucking so mad. He's just like, "Out of this fucking broad. We paid her $5,000 to be in this movie, and she won't even show us nothing. She's getting paid tip money, not voice money. Can we just get one? Just one tit." That's the thing. They're going to they're arguing back and forth. 2 of them, full bush tits. No. All right, just the top. No. Just one. No. A shirt with no bra. No.
A wet shirt with bra.
10 seconds of lingerie. 3. All right. God damn it.
You're a prude businessman.
You're shrewd. You're shrewd. You know what I was saying around this office? So basically they go in and the douche guys show up and then Mariska's there and she like pulls the blonde aside and she's like, "Don't do it." And I write, "Don't do what?"
What the fuck is going on here?
Don't do what? She keeps saying something about, okay, so the blonde girl's like, "I have school spirit and I gotta help the team. What about the team?" and all this stuff. And I'm like, help them what? What the fuck is the plan? Is she just gonna fuck them? Chop their dick off? I mean, what the fuck is the plan?
Give them AIDS and make them gay at the same
Like,
time.
What is the fucking plan? But we won't find out. Go to the hotel. Chip comes back. So Coach Chip, he comes back and he opens the room and he's like, "Oh fuck, they're not there."
Yeah.
And then Coach Beetlebaum shows up and he's like, "Hey, I just want to see the boys,
Yeah,
make
give
sure they're here."
Little pep talk before the game, the big night,
And there's just this dumb scene where he's like,
He gets back in the van and Beetlebaum's in the van with him.
"Yeah, it
It's
doesn't
like,
make it. Nobody cares.
Who cares?
It leads to nothing." Basically, they're not there, and Beetlebaum knows.
Mm-hmm.
We go back to the bar, right? So all the guys have their shirts off, and Tito keeps yelling shit and jumping around.
Mm-hmm.
And then these girls, we get the little TNA. They apparently signed the contract that just said tits on the top. But they had no problem with it.
Big handheld marker.
It was, Chris, literally the contract
Yeah.
for this movie.
Yeah.
It just said tits in Sharpie.
Yeah. Right.
So it can't be erased.
Right.
And it can't be whited out.
No, it cannot.
It bled through the paper. That's on both sides.
Onto the coffee
And
table.
there is a $100 bill taped onto it. And just the line that says, "Sign here."
Yeah.
And that's it. Now, don't take that money off before you sign, honey.
And there's a little hand scroll of the Crown logo.
Oh, hold on. I forgot the logo. Intern.
No, actually, the eye and tits is actually the Crown logo for the eye.
He signed this for his honey. Don't take that money and run. 100 now, 100 at the end of the day, all right? 100 when I see the girls.
There's a $5 coupon for the buffet. After you do it.
Also, you're going to have to pay for your own room. We are sorry. We know we said we were giving you a per diem. Ain't going to happen. So then, all right. So the girls take their bras off, right? And then we just cut to outside the bar. And the kid is just standing by this car, like putting his hands in front of his chest. He's like, "They had boobs, like big boobs." Like he's a 5-year-old and he's miming breasts on himself. And then this blonde girl comes up, the blonde girl, the fix is in, Chris.
Yep.
And she goes, "Hey, I placed a bet with your name against your team. And here's the receipt. And if you need to like throw the mat or something."
Yeah. Here's the receipt.
And I write, no.
This is typical Crown shoehorn.
Let's say 2 things, Chris.
Yeah.
1, when you go place a sports bet, guess what? They don't ask for your fucking name. They don't ask for your fucking name. You walk up to the counter and you say, "Yeah, I'd like to bet $10 on the Cubs to win the World Series." They laugh at you and they print out your ticket.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's no, "Can I see your ID? Oh, what's your name, by the way?" No. You just hold on to your fucking ticket.
Yeah.
And if you win, you go cash it out. That's it, okay? There's no names involved. There's no fucking exchanges. Like, that's the reason that people bet with cash.
Yeah.
They don't want to go give a
They want a
casino their
money
fucking
trail.
name. Like,
Yeah.
what are you fucking talking about? Name.
It's like going to like a rub and tug, Madam Wong's with a credit card.
Okay.
My bank statement says one tug.
Yeah.
$49.99.
Yeah, you go to a rub and tug and it's cards only, no cash. Yeah. Okay. 2, why do they need to pay the girl to do this?
Yeah.
They could have just done that themselves. The douche guys could have just walked up to the counter and said, like, yeah, I'd like to place this bet with, what's your name? Oh, yeah, it's the kid. Okay, we'll print out your ticket. Also, nobody knows this fucking guy's name other than the kid, which I'm pretty sure his first name is not the and last name kid.
The kid. Jesus Christ.
Apparently they know his real name.
Yeah.
But again, this plan doesn't work. It's fucking bullshit. But you know what, Chris? Mob rules. Hey, you do whatever you want in Vegas. You want to put a name on a betting ticket? If I could do it.
Yeah.
So this whole plan makes 0 sense. And they're like, hey, you need to lose or something, or we're going to show the officials the ticket with your name on it.
Yeah.
And I write, well, so why doesn't he just use that winnings from the other day and bet against their team with their name on a ticket and go, well, 2 can play at that game, fuckhead. Like, what's to stop him from doing that? Nothing. So this hinges on literally the worst plot device I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
So then basically all of this ends by the strip game. Ogre takes his pants off and everybody gasps at whatever is underneath.
Yeah, the ogre's flute, if you will.
Then all of a sudden we cut into the middle of a scene where Mariska Hargitay walks out of a room with a lingerie on for her 3 seconds of contract that she could be in lingerie, and her and the kid kiss on a bed. And I write, what the fuck is going on? Mm-hmm. What is going on, Chris? She says they have to talk somewhere private, and they just make out on a bed.
No idea. No idea what's going on. Yeah.
Then Chip and the coach show up at the bar, and like they're looking for the boys. They just do this horrible bathroom gag where the coach is going to go use the stall, but they've all run into one stall, and Rick James does his gay impression and scares them off.
Yeah.
Because there's the worst things in the whole world in the 80s are 1, being gay, 2, being a transgender. So then, all right, basically we go back to the hotel. The boys come back, they're drunk, and Coach Beetlebaum catches them, and he's like, I want to see you all in the morning. We go to the morning. Wait, okay, no. So basically they're all like, oh, well, we're fucked.
Yeah,
we're all in trouble because Coach Beetlebaum's going to tell on us, but we got to get him back, right? And the kid says,
an ace in the hole. We need some leverage, and it's Vegas, and it's very easy to get leverage in Vegas.
So their plan, Chris, is what?
They're going to pay hookers to take pictures with him in bed, unbeknownst to him, and use that as like a blackmail device.
Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah.
There's just 3 hookers that take Polaroids with him in his bedroom, and I write,
oh,
okay,
not Polaroids. They got the full-on negatives.
Oh, you're right. And I write, I got a lot of problems with this. 1,
how'd they get into the room? How do they know which room?
Okay, how do they know what room?
Yeah.
2, now I've never had a hooker in my life, but I can tell you one thing, Chris. If there was ever I'm just going to say this is a little PSA to anybody out there. Let me give you a word of advice. If you hire a hooker, make sure there are no cameras involved. Because that seems like a bad fucking idea. They come in and they're like, oh, we're not going to fuck you. We're just going to take pictures with you topless and smile and stuff. And he's like, yeah, whatever. Are you a fucking idiot? Why would you let anybody come into your room with a camera and take compromising pictures with you? And 2, you leave with it.
Yeah.
Like, you think at the end of the night, he's like, oh, no, I'm going to need that roll of film. And he's just, late at night, he's just exposing the fuck out of it. Just pulling out the camera.
To me, it seems like he was unaware that they just kind of barged in and just jumped in there and started taking pictures.
It makes no sense.
And he's like, no, because his face the whole time was like trying to like surprised and like, no, please don't. That's what I think is what happened. And they left without him being able to know.
Yeah.
I think it was like a run-in, like a photo bomb situation.
A photo bomb?
Yeah.
Stripper photo bomb.
Yeah.
This happens every night. Bob rules. Yeah. If 3 hookers show up at your door, you can't deny them. It's mob rules, Chris. That's the rules of Mob Vegas.
I played punk rock bowling in Vegas twice, and it happened to me 3 times the night.
And they always have a camera.
Yeah, it
and you're
never
always
fails.
in the bathroom, turning on the light, going like, "Expose, you fuck, expose."
I'm so tired for the show. And the next morning, I can never. I'm
You're all fucked out.
Yeah, I'm all fucked out.
The rival bands are trying to fuck
That's
you
how
out.
they're getting us. God damn you, DI.
So the next day, Chris, this all pays off as Coach Beetlebaum shows up and he's like, "Oh, hey, you're all fired and expelled." And they're like, "Hey, you remember how you took all those pictures with hookers? Well, 24-hour photo processing over at Walmart got us, and we got all the pictures here. Here's you with hookers. Also, we have the negatives." And he's like, "God damn, I never thought that would catch up to me. Oh, well." I never saw that coming. Okay. So now we just go to the tennis match. Basically, the coach and Christopher Lee are there, right? And they're playing against the douche guys because apparently we're at the finals, but that was never explained. And there's only 2 rounds to this whole tournament. So they were already in the...
This is not mob rules, but YMCA rules.
Yeah, it's just like, there's only 4 teams in this whole tournament. So they play the douche guys. Who cares? Basically, they win. There's one point where Tito tries to pray. So what they're losing at first, right?
Yeah.
Like, so the kid loses, and then like Tito runs around and he's praying, but the guy he's playing against is Jewish. And he's dressed like he's straight out of a bar mitzvah with like the fucking yarmulke and shawl over his shoulder. And Tito says something. He says, quote, "We are playing against the big boss." And I go, I don't understand. Does he think this is Jesus? Like, what the fuck?
Or are they trying to make some terrible racial?
Oh God,
like,
you're right.
Towards
You know
Hollywood.
what? I gotta trust me, kid. It's all right. I got plenty of Jewish friends. They think it's funny. They think it's really funny. Oh boy, there is a part where Rick James tries his gay act, but the guy on the other side is actually gay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work, and Rick James loses and says, "Oh man, I lost to an F word, and I'm not talking about fuck."
Nope.
So they're down 0-4, Chris. They need to run the table at this point. Jeff wins because the kid just goes like, "Hey, Jeff, you're actually a good player." And he's like, "Oh, yeah." And then he wins. And then there's a useless scene where Mariska Hargitay gets all mad at the kid, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, wait, hold on." There was a part where before the kid goes on the tennis court, they're like, "Hey, kid, we found this receipt in your room that says you bet against the team with your name on it.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain?" And he just goes, "No, it is what it is."
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
like, "Oh, they did."
Yeah.
No, he just goes, "No, it is what it is. Fuck it. Fuck you. Let's play tennis.
Yeah.
Fuck this movie. We're almost done, all right?"
I think that was a reshoot because they had to do something when they tore out like the 2 hours and 20 minutes.
So now, okay, basically they win. Oh, yeah, there's this part where Mariska Hargitay goes, "I can't believe that you're trying to throw the match." And then he just goes, "I'm not." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And that's it. That's the whole conflict. It's everything in this movie, Chris. I write, there's not 1 ounce of conflict.
No.
Every time there is conflict, they literally solve it in the same scene, like within the same cut. We don't even cut to like a close up or anything. It's like, "Hey, you got a problem?" "No, it's solved." "Oh, great." That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
What a great world to live in.
It's very Van logic. Like
Yeah.
every problem is literally solved by magic. Mm-hmm. It just
How
fucking get
how-
some hookers and some pictures.
How Disney. Zippity poonda.
Yeah, there you go. Just throw a little fairy dust on it. Boom. Bing bang boom.
Yeah. Ba-ba-ba.
All right, there's a part where Ogre is playing like the ginger equivalent of himself. So like a 7-foot tall ginger man.
I thought this was actually funny.
And like he beats him. Apparently, Chris, at one point, Ogre catches the ball and just smashes it in his hand, and people clap. And I go, I think he lost that frame. I think you lost,
You're
man.
supposed to catch it with your hand. But who are we to
Yeah, what do I know about tennis?
who are we to contradict this?
No, the kids told me if you
If you catch it and it explodes, you win.
you win 1 point. And then okay, so he breaks his racket, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens, Chris? So Tito comes up and delivers him.
Oh God, yeah. This black racket bag, and inside it's got like a skull and crossbones on it. And he takes it out, and it's apparently it's like the end all of rackets. It's all black. It's got again skull and crossbones on it. And
Okay, and I write, why didn't he use this in the first place?
yeah, why? Okay, this is my question. At every sports movie, they like the baseball, what
that
have
fucking
you.
Robert Redford one when he's
Yeah.
got his little like lightning bat.
What, was
It's
that
like
the
if
natural?
the natural. It's like, Well, if the bat's so fucking good, why didn't you use it in the first place,
Yeah.
you dumb fuck?
I have to know if it was me or the bat.
yeah, I don't know if it was me or the bat. It's part of the character development and everything. Yeah, it was fucking stupid, so.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, it's like if I bought like if I bought like a $1,000 golf club, and then I have like an $80 driver and a $1,000 driver, which one am I gonna fucking use?
No, I can't use this club. If I use this club, it's a handicap. I gotta know if it's me or the club. I gotta be good enough to use the club. Chris?
Yeah.
I buy it. I've said every sports movie agrees with you, with your logic. Mm-hmm. That's what Tiger Woods does. He used to, when he was really good, right? He would just have his real clubs, and then he would just use 1920s wooden clubs to be like, well, I think it's me, though.
Yeah, these are the ones used by Bagger Vance.
Use the Bagger Vance clubs. Isn't it funny to think Bagger Vance was a movie in like the 2000s? That's got to be the most racist fucking shit I've ever seen. Like, that was a movie, Chris, that starred Will Smith.
Yeah.
And Matt Damon. You think when Will Smith got that script for Bagger Vance, he's like, oh, I've always wanted to play a step it and fetch it ghost caddy.
Yeah.
That's black. Yeah, that sounds like it's right up my alley. Fresh Prince to that, huh?
Yeah, he did all his research by buying like lawn ornaments.
What the fuck were they thinking? It's gotta be the worst fucking and nobody talks about that movie nowadays. I remember when it came out, everybody's like, it's wonderful. And I was just sitting there going like, oh.
Yeah.
Even in high school when that movie came out, I was just like, oh, this seems interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna touch that one.
Yeah. At the awards. And the lawn jockey goes too.
So this is the most confusing fucking sports montage I've ever seen. Like it's worse than like an Air Bud movie. Mm-hmm. Like Air Bud is more coherent than this. I have no idea what's going on.
The kid has done it again.
Somehow they win. There's a lot of tennis, but somehow they win.
Yeah.
Well, if it's real tennis, no.
And it has to be in slow motion when the win happens.
Winner takes all. He does a serve, they win. Zero adversity is faced. Every problem is solved within seconds. There's a trophy ceremony. The coach fires Chip, but then he doesn't because they pasted all the hooker pictures in his room or something. It doesn't matter. It all ends happy. Everybody parties, and then we get a shaky-ass helicopter shot of the strip. The end. Mm-hmm. Highly recommended.
Yes. Please watch. Please watch.
The logic in this movie is just baffling.
Yeah.
It's like it was supposed to be 3 hours, but we know it wasn't supposed to be 3 hours, and they cut out everything that made sense, or they just forgot to roll one take, run.
Yeah.
We don't have permits to shoot outside of this parking lot.
Yeah, the film got jacked in the camera while they were running from location to location. They didn't check the mag.
Did you expose that film, kid? No, it was fine. All right. I'm taking your word for it.
Yeah.
There's no repercussions because I'm only paying you $25 cash to be here.
I mean,
but you'll never work in this town again.
And no, you can't keep the ghillie suit.
I didn't need that back. Also, I know we had word of a per diem, but there ain't going to be no per diem. Here's a frozen burrito.
And $5 off Tony
Go
Roma.
find a microwave, kid.
Yeah.
$5 off Tony Roma's. You ever been there? Say they got a good pina colada.
Yeah, $50 minimum.
$50 minimum
for the coupon to be used. Have you ever been fucked by that? I have.
Oh God.
Red Lobster.
Oh yeah, sir. Sorry, this coupon for $5 off is only good for $50 or more. You can't just order biscuits and a side salad, sir. I'm sorry.
Oh, what am I gonna do for date night? Ruined.
You're on a date. And you're like, I'm sorry. We're gonna have to leave. How do you feel about McDonald's?
First off, suck the butter off the lobster before we leave. I mean, we got to get something out of this.
Get that butter. Take the shell. I was once going to pull the best prank of my life, but I didn't do it.
Oh,
this
no.
would have been fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. So somebody was supposed to pay me for a job, but in the creative ways that people get of paying you, you're like, well, cash would be nice, check would be nice, Credit card would be nice. Anything that you can
Trace
can
or
pay
track.
with.
Right.
And they go, oh, you know what he'd really like instead of being paid by cash or check or credit card? How about a gift certificate to P.F. Chang's? And somebody mails me a $50 P.F. Chang gift card. And first of all, that's wasn't even half of the price of the actual work that was being done, but and a thank you card. A $50 P.F. Chang's gift card and a thank you card. Now, I've never eaten at P.F. Chang's in my fucking life. Now, I go into this place, and apparently, so you sit down, right? I've never been to this place before in my life. Have you ever eaten at one of
I've
these?
been told it's like a fancier Panda Express.
Okay. I sit down with my wife. We're going to P.F. Chang's, right? And this man comes over and he's like, oh, how do you want your sauce? Look at me like, what the fuck did you just say? He's like, your sauce. How spicy do you want your sauce? I'm like, sauce? He's like, yeah. Apparently at P.F. Chang's, they like... Okay, Chris, this is a real thing at P.F. Chang's. Is they take a cup of soy sauce, like a ramekin full of soy sauce, like a shot glass size thing of soy sauce, and then they got another shot glass full of sriracha and another shot glass full of some ginger. And I go I don't know, medium. And so this kid takes a spoon and he starts putting things in the soy sauce and he mixes it up and he's like, oh, there's your sauce. I'm like, what the fuck? So apparently, they're like, oh, you know that tableside guacamole at those places? Yeah, we're going to do that, but with Chinese food. Well, what do? I don't know. Mix them some soy sauce. Make a sauce. Okay. So they leave this shit on your table the whole meal. Okay. I guess I'm supposed to use it or something?
Yeah.
And this is a special thing?
Yeah.
So I order... I'm sorry, I just wanted to say that. It's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen. Don't come up to me. I'm very weird if somebody comes up to me in a restaurant and says, how do you want your sauce? What? That's the first thing out of your mouth to me?
Yeah.
Are you my waiter? Where's my drinks? What? Who are you?
Yeah.
Kid with a cup in his hand? What is this? Yeah, how do you want it, sir? Holding it crotch high. How do you want it, sir?
Doing a knuckle shuffle.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So we order... All right, we order this food, right?
Yeah.
And the total comes out to, with tip, $48.50.
Oh, my
and I'm like,
God.
whoo! I got this gift card, right? And it covers my whole meal. So I pay with the gift card. And he comes back and he gives me the card. He's like, you want to keep it? I'm like, yeah, whatever. And it says $50 on top of the card. So it was almost Christmas. And I was like, this would make the funniest gift ever.
I remember this.
Is I'm going to wrap this and give it to my brother. And it says $50 on it. And I'm just going to be like, yeah, go enjoy. And I imagine him going in a P.F. Chang's, which he's also never been, and eating there and having this big expensive meal. He goes, here's the gift card. All right, sir. Well, your balance is, there was $150 on it. So I was this close, and I was like, I can't do it. And I just threw it out because I'm never going back.
Oh, yeah. That bad.
Maybe we'll go get some sauce.
Oh, yeah. How was the food?
Not memorable.
Oh, all right.
Do you hear that sound?
Boy, do I. I do. If this is the first time you are hearing the show, we always harken back to the first episode we ever covered, 1977's The Van, about a ginger high school kid that buys a garish yellow van with his car washman's salary and is in cahoots with his boss, Andy, and they take this said van and find ways to have women inside this van any way they can. And we always think, how will they fit into any movie we've covered? And this episode in particular, I'd say in the bar where they're all playing that dice game, the team leaves, and the girls are like, ooh, that was fun, and they all start getting kind of woozy, and then they pass out face first. And then out from the side, this jug of wine rolls out next to their feet. And you just see this ginger hand reach onto one of their shoulders and pull it back, and you see this stubby little fat hand pull on one of their shoulders and pull it back. And cut to the next scene.
Chris, I think you missed quite a crucial plot point in this movie.
Well, I'm like this. I know it's a big juicy one, but I'm letting you have this.
Oh man, if we're not thinking the same thing, I want to know.
Oh, well, what was yours?
Chris, now you know they gave that girl money to go place that bet.
Yeah.
Well, we know a bookie. by the name of Andy. Chris,
Oh,
who's
shit.
DeVito.
Yeah, I know.
I imagine a scene where they go, all right, well, there's only one bookie in town that'll write a name on his betting ticket. He works at some bizarre yellow van.
Yeah.
And you just got to wave him down. The way you wave him down is to just kind of unbutton your blouse a little bit, and they'll appear. All of a sudden, you'll hear, and then a yellow van will appear. Every time a blouse is unbuttoned, the yellow van appears.
Every time a button hits the ground. Sometimes the van appears and then the blouse gets unbuttoned miraculously.
Every time a blouse is unbuttoned and a heel clicks, the van appears.
Our patron Saint Bobby.
Yeah, every time a blouse is unbuttoned or a bra strap is slightly undone. So they pull up, and he goes, "Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, you want a name on this betting ticket? Huh? Well, that'll cost you." She's like, "Oh well, I got money." He goes, "I'm sorry, honey, it ain't money." And then Bobby you just see the poop come out from the captain's chair.
Yeah.
And toast pops up, and we just cut.
Oh, that toast.
Thanks again for joining us on this supersized episode of.
You can say this
what is this Grindbin podcast?
You can say this is jock-sized.
Jock-sized, yeah. Ogre-sized.
Well, we're making up for it for the 2 weeks that we were off, so we're supersizing it for everybody.
Yeah, this is
on
a long one.
Yeah, and that's, Merry Christmas.
If you want to get in touch with us for whatever fucking reason, grindbin@gmail.com. I gave out the voicemail on the last episode. I fucking forget it. It's not in front of me right now, so you'll have to refer to that one. But you can call that number and leave us a voicemail if you want to. That would be interesting. We might play it on the show. We might not. You can find us on grindhousefilm.com. We write a blog for every single episode, and we also provide a trailer for what the movie is going to be for the next week. You can find us on Twitter @GrindPod. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. We'd really enjoy if you would join the conversation. We have a lot of great fans and listeners that will post a lot of great information about the movies we cover. Lots of fun facts that we don't even get time to mention on the show. We have great conversations on there. And you can even meet some of our contributors to the website. They write reviews for it. Our friend Sean Thompson, a contributor to the website, just posted a new review for the movie. I think it's called Turbo Kid.
Yeah.
From 2015.
Yeah. Interesting
looking movie. I got to check this one out.
Interesting artwork for that poster, too.
Yeah, I liked it.
I liked it a lot.
So you can go ahead and read that there. And if you want to rate and review this podcast on iTunes, we'd really appreciate it. We were getting more, believe it or not. I saw the other day we had like 2-3 more. I was like, oh, okay.
Really?
Hopefully there's no requests coming in. But
yeah. Because is that still an ongoing thing?
Yes. If you rate and review this movie 5 stars on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever the fuck else, and you provide proof to us, you can send us your movie request, and we will blind watch it. Chris, do you have anything else to add?
And also, if you would be ever so kind to hit subscribe on whatever format you're listening to. If it's iTunes, there's a purple rectangular button. Hit that as well. Google Play, wherever else, subscribe. You will never miss another bin. And all I can say is, le bin.
Yeah. French listeners, fucking email. Let's do it here, huh?
Bobby, give her the serve.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
Spooky ain't got no real poach.
Hello, pizza man.